Well, hello, Dirtfish friends, and welcome to our end of day one review here at Rally Estonia. Now, you'll have spotted in the distance there the weather and the clouds. Today has been defined by the weather. David, let's talk. Let's talk about that final stage of the day. It seems a little odd to start talking about the final stage of the day, but that is where it all kicked off.
It absolutely did, didn't it, Colin? It was just, I've got to say, Colin, looking a little bit nervous.
David, please don't. Honestly, I'm really not good with heights, and David has insisted we climb a mountain.
It's
David,
a small
please
mountain.
don't do that. Don't make any sudden movements towards me. I'm very, very nervous.
Let's get on with it.
Very nervous. Don't do that, David.
Last stage today.
Yeah.
Incredible. I mean, 14 seconds quicker than anybody, Rovanpera. It was another one of those brilliant. Before this event, everybody talked about, yes, the weather was coming, and rain could be a nightmare, it could be blah, blah, blah. But the biggest fear of drivers is rain arriving at just the wrong point.
Yeah. And that can make it a little bit of a lottery. But I don't think there was any lottery in what happened today.
No, I think there was, though, Cole, because, well, from what we can understand, it started raining when Calais arrived. So, therefore, he would think, oh, you know, that's poor me, essentially. I've got the worst of it. Drivers inevitably do, don't they? It's always worse for them. But then, actually, the rain carried on, and it got worse. But then by the time Elvin and the boys further back were coming, the rain had stopped, but the water had settled, hadn't it, in the ruts. And that, Calais was one of his biggest fears, was... for Calais was water sitting in the ruts this afternoon, wasn't it? You know, that running first on the road, you're going to aquaplane through those ruts. That didn't happen. You know, I would say he had just about the best of a bad lot.
So yeah, afternoon was quite tricky as we expected. The first one off the loop was a lot of standing water for us. So yeah, I think Elfin did a good job. I think a bit less water for him on the ruts. It felt that it was quite messy for us when we went first car. Then the next two ones were not so bad. Some opening of the line for sure, but yeah, I tried to push. We had a few good times, and yeah, I was happy with those. And of course, on the last one, we got some help from the weather.
You know, these guys have done the best part of 140 kilometres out there today. Elvin Evans must be feeling fairly sore at the end of the day, because for 7 out of today's 8 stages, he was right there or thereabouts. Okay, Rovanpera this afternoon was nibbling.
And was absolutely
brilliant.
But
we were talking seconds between them. You go into the final stage, 6Ks, we're almost back to service, 6 kilometres, and we can really think about tomorrow, and it all turns around.
And taken nearly 3 seconds a car. It doesn't happen. That has to be conditions.
It does have to be conditions, but there's a bit of brilliance about Rovanpera that we have seen on many occasions. You know, again, it does look okay, it's been different with the weather, but your Rovanpera will go into tomorrow now potentially in the best position, certainly in terms of confidence, right up there. Elvin Evans has to now chase again, David. That's not easy. Not easy when you're chasing.
This is the thing. You know, he's sat on top of his confidence and everything. We've seen it build. Tricky first stage this morning. You know, lots of junctions, lots of changes of rhythm. He got through that fastest and then got into his rhythm and was superb. You know, we talked about this, didn't we, with Jari Matti and the team. When he walked in to see us at lunchtime, he had not a swagger. Elvin couldn't swagger, but he had a confidence. No, you can't. Stop doing that.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
He had a confidence about him because he knew that he was on top of the car. We talked before this event as well about the need for confidence in these really high-speed stages. You've got to be understanding that the car is going to do exactly. You know, when you're turning in at 100 miles an hour, you want to know the car's on the money, and it was all morning. It was, and then just this last stage this afternoon. Okay, through the afternoon, he's nibbled. Calais nibbled, and he's lost.
7 and 8. 6, remember, was won by Evans, and 7 and 8. Rovanpera started to come back.
The real question now is: can Elvin pick it up in the morning? Can he get back? If the weather's dry, if the weather's good, can he get back to where he was this morning? I think now he can.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the best. Obviously, the weather didn't play to our side, unfortunately. But you know, that's the way it goes. Nobody can control that. And yeah, it was generally okay, but maybe didn't risk quite enough at certain points. Obviously, we had that big moment at the start of the last one there, and the condition was very, very bad, to be honest. And it just felt like an accident waiting to happen. So to try and find the balance between getting to the end and doing what we could.
Let's talk quickly about Esa-Pekka Lappi. You know, a driver who's had a couple of bad results coming into this one. This obviously is a rally that he knows he can go well on, and he was disappointed. There was a problem this morning, David. Tell us about that problem.
The brakes. You know, as much as you take massive confidence from your brakes. You know, if you're braking twice for that feel of braking, forget it. You know, you're out of this rally, there's not a hope. You need to stamp on the brakes, know the car's going to stop, turn in, and away you go. There was an issue with the pad. He wasn't getting the feel, the initial bite from the pad. So therefore, as he explained to us...
Stop there. David could explain it brilliantly, but Esa-Pekka can explain it better. Let's hear from him.
Let's.
The initial bite is gone completely, so you need to push the pedal really hard to make the car slow down. And on this rally and Finland, the driving style should be that you go a bit too fast into corners, and then by left foot braking you manage the corner. That if it's, you know, it looks that you don't survive, then you put a bit of left foot that make more angle, and then you can do perfect corner. But at the moment, there's no chance. I cannot use the left foot, so I need to completely change the driving style.
Yep.
Hyundai, we were hoping would be good, and that hope was kind of still there at lunchtime, wasn't it? Because Oit Tanak had a really good morning within 10 seconds of lead. He fought hard for it, David, but he was there.
Oit Tanak flattered to deceive the Hyundai again. You know, they've got a great engine, and I do feel badly. You know, we're on the back of Hyundai all the time. But that result, early doors this morning, was Tanak. You know, he took the thing by the scruff of the neck and he forced it into places that the car shouldn't have been. You know, he was on the door handles throughout the day.
Conditions were a lot more inconsistent. Some water mud here and there, some dry places. So yeah, for sure it was quite a lot more difficult for us. Other than that, I don't know. We hopefully learned something and can go further from here. But I mean, generally, yeah, the situation is like it is, and it's just important to get all the information.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, David. You know, he was there in that position because he wanted to be there more, perhaps, than anyone. We've seen, haven't we, Thierry Neuville over the last 18 months, 2 years, doing exactly the same thing.
It's also, sorry to interrupt, a little bit of familiarity.
It's all right, David.
A little bit of familiarity, a lot of familiarity with the roads here with Oit. You know, he knows the nature of these roads, so we will probably see in 2 rounds' time, we'll see Thierry doing exactly the same thing, forcing that pace in Belgium. Thierry absolutely said from the outset he wasn't going to force it here because you can only lose. When you're not confident with the car at these speeds, you know, especially on the second run through and the ruts are coming and the car's moving around in the ruts, it is horribly difficult to commit at those speeds. So, yeah.
And you know what? Thierry Neuville has struggled. He struggled here in the past. He struggled historically in World Rally cars in Finland. Really struggled badly. And it's just not to his liking. As you say, what we've seen in other...
I've got to say though, Cole, second in...
Look at that man down there. Look at that man down there. That's a legend. A legend that is... Oh, quick, sorry, cameraman. Sorry to make you do that. Juho Hänninen. He's a legend. I love that man. He's one of the nicest guys in rallying.
Absolutely.
What were you going to disagree with me about?
No, just Thierry Neuville. You know, I can't... When you look back, I'm sure in 13 when he was in the Fiesta, was it second time in Finland?
You are right.
He was second overall.
You are right. What I meant to say was
can...
in the Hyundai, he has struggled in Finland, and he really struggled, really since 13 in the Hyundai. But 14. He's clearly not prepared. 14, sorry. He's clearly not prepared to take any undue risks out there, Thierry Neuville, and taking the sensible, cautious approach. Now, Oliver Solberg, difficult morning.
Difficult day. Couldn't find any grip at the rear of the car, and just didn't test here. And that, you know, tested 2 days in Finland, 1 day here. It's a difficult place. You know, the road surface is different. It's just been a really tough day. Hit something in stage 7, damaged power steering. Tough one.
M Sport, David. Goodness me. Started well last night, didn't it?
Yep.
Short stage. Bream was leading. We really hoped to see something special from Bream here this weekend. He's gone well here
and
the last 2 years.
There was every expectation.
Yeah,
you know, his
the
speed
tools are there, the speed is there, the experience is there. No excuses for this one. He had everything he needed to push for a minimum of a podium, but it all went wrong.
It went wrong in that left-hander. He got slightly wide and got caught out. At the minute, we said to him at the side of the road, it's typical of Bream's luck that there was that concrete thing, and you know, it just nicked the wheel as it went in. Without that, we were there. He would have reversed out. He'd have probably lost 20 seconds.
If that. Yeah, 20 seconds, absolutely. It was a... Yeah, he went wide on the corner, and as you say, you know, he'd have been going in there thinking, okay, fine, this is not looking too bad. I'll get back out here, and then bang.
Didn't hit anything, you know, with no trees, but that one concrete thing that was just buried in the grass. Equally, he shouldn't have been off the road in the first
No, he
place.
should
But
not.
you know,
He
it's
should
the
not.
way that his luck's rolling right now.
And then what did we see in the final stage today? Lupe, who's gone so well in the M Sport car, has ridden his luck at times, and we've seen that over the past few rallies with Pierre-Louis Lupe. But
Ooh,
he
struggled a bit
struggled
there.
with that one, didn't I? With Pierre-Louis Lupe. Yes, and I've not had a glass of wine. That final stage, oh dearie me.
Yeah.
It looked worse than it was, clearly.
Over the jump, and just so difficult to get the car slowed down. You know, there's probably some aquaplaning on the mud, and it just tipped into that bank up. Not a lot of speed, and again, you know, is this just M Sport's luck that it just pitched it into a roll?
Yeah, it was most
you know, Gus
unfortunate.
Greensmith had been off in the sort of same place there. Just horribly difficult conditions there. But you know, the one thing, when you feel a car starting to move around under you, slow down.
Slow down, absolutely right. There you go. That's what David Evans is.
Sorry.
A bit of advice for the day.
Yeah.
Feel your car
Have that for free.
moving.
Yeah.
What do you do, David?
Slow down.
Slow down. There we go.
Right.
So overall, David, thoughts on the opening day proper here in Estonia? It's been entertaining.
It's been entertaining. It promised a huge amount. I mean, we talked up the chances of Hyundai being in that fight. They're struggling still, you know. And the fact, I mean, you look at the last stage with Tanak, you know, the heater pipe thing. It's
just
these
little
details.
things that keep coming. It is details.
Yeah.
And you know what? You know, if Esa-Pekka Lap has put his problems behind him, yes, he's a good few seconds behind Tanak, but you'd have to say there's every chance Lappy could put pressure on Tanak tomorrow.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
going
have
to be a
wait
great
and
day
see.
tomorrow.
We saw it all changing around in 6 kilometres of the final stage here today. You know, tomorrow could be just as exciting, just as dramatic.
It will. The weather is set to change once again, so yeah, there's a long way to go.
Long way to go here at Rally Estonia.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. Long way to go. Stick with us for all the action, all the drama, all the jeopardy that we might see out in the States. Had to get that one in. All the jeopardy. Where do we stay, David, for all? Where do we put my false teeth in? Where, David, do we stay up on top of the hill?
Darkfish.com.
Darkfish.com.